Well, with the weather improving, other than today, many of us are anxious to get out into our gardens. And Perry Stother joins us from Classic Landscapes in Ellerslie Gift and Garden. Good morning, Perry. Nice to see you again.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I am fine, thanks. As far as the weather goes, I mean, obviously you've got some snow falling right now, but it's just a little bit of a distraction for now. But you know things are going to be improving pretty quickly, and probably time to start thinking about planting your vegetable garden, I would think.
Yeah, you know, we often use the May long weekend as our kickoff to the gardening weekend. A lot of that reasoning is because of what we see outside today. Sometimes we can get cooler temperatures, maybe not snowfall, but definitely frost. And younger vegetables and plants can be definitely more tender as we start planting them. Seeds, it won't affect as much, obviously, so if you want to get on that this weekend, just fine. But like you said, temperatures are getting warmer, and it is a great time of year to get that garden started, obviously.
So what should we start with? Talk us through planting a vegetable garden, maybe for the beginner who has never done it before.
Yeah, you know, the most important thing is to start with the soil, of course. Something that's a little bit of a sandier, well-draining soil is going to be a little bit better than the heavier clay soils that are sort of natural around our location. And so adding things like compost, peat moss, that'll help break it up. You know, again, if it is really hard, you can add some sand, again, to have the water go through it. One issue about a sandier soil is your plants will grow a little bit better. You'll have to water a little bit more often, as we understand, because heavier clay soils will hold the water more. Sandier soils will let it run through. So you want kind of that perfect middle ground. And again, in the sandier soil, you're going to have to water it a couple of times a week, typically through the summer. But you know, not too crazy, but that's something you're going to want to start with. So again, healthy soil is the most important. And a lot of times people feel intimidated by a garden. You don't have to have a lot of space. You can do container gardening, or if you have a little bit of a plot of land in the backyard that you can dedicate to a garden. There are some plants that I would say are more of a starter sort of idea when you're just getting into it. You know, things like carrots, lettuce, green beans, kale. You know, there's a wide variety. Radishes are a great one because they germinate really quickly, and in about 3 weeks you'll be harvesting radishes, so you'll get some payback right away for your efforts in the beginning.
I'm assuming, like everything you plant, fertilizer probably might not be a bad idea, Perry.
Yeah, fertilizer is important. Obviously, if you have like a vegetable, flower, and garden fertilizer, you know, especially in our shortened season, you really want to make sure all the nutrition is present for the plants. The fact is, a lot of times in the soil, we just don't have enough nutrition, especially if we're in a newer neighborhood where we've taken soil away and brought it back into our yards. You know, things like microorganisms, populations, and stuff like that need to sort of, again, increase for healthier soil. So, again, that's why compost is so important for that. Fertilizing typically a couple of times. Usually, you know, fertilize once every 6 or 8 weeks. And so if you fertilize right after you get started, then once kind of in the middle of the season, that'll be enough in terms of that. And obviously, you just want to make sure you stay on top of it in terms of watering. Don't want to overwater, but when you see the soil get dry, maybe stick your finger in an inch and it's starting to dry down, then you can make sure you water it again.
All right, we talked about fertilizer, we've talked about soil, we've talked about water. What about mulch?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times people underestimate the importance of mulch in a garden. You think about a garden bed being just, you know, straight soil, and that's fine. Most often it is the case. A lot of times if we have a larger garden and we have pathways, adding some mulch in those pathways, even for soil stability, for walking on, is actually a good idea just functionally. But it also will help retain some of the moisture in the soil, won't dry out as fast. And some of those plants that, you know, like maybe shrubs, blueberries, different you know, fruits like that, you know, mulching around the base of them is a really good idea. You know, maybe not so much if you're planting carrots or lettuce and things like that, but again, in the pathways in your garden, around your garden, mulch will help it from drying out as quickly, and holding moisture around your plants is generally a better idea for sure.
All right, Perry, thank you so much. As always, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
For more great ideas, you can check out Classic Landscaping in Ellerslie Gift and Garden. They're located at 100th Street and 6th Avenue. For more information, well, all the information you need right up on your screen now.